Welcome, you guys. Thanks for coming to day 2. Some of you are just coming down for Envirothon day today. We're really excited to have you here. Are there any newbies to Envirothon? Someone who's never had a team compete? Excellent. All right. So the question might be, what is Envirothon, right? If you haven't heard already, it's a competition that takes place in May, one day of the year, but you spend most of your year getting ready for it. And I know that sounds like a lot of fun, but the competition that they're actually going to be looking at are things that you already do in your classroom every day. So your students will be taking a test in all these different categories: soils and land use, forestry, aquatic ecology, wildlife, and then a current issue that is a new one every year. And we are here today to learn more about that current issue. As far as the other sections of tests, they can be found on our website, the study guides, so that you can look on there to figure out what you need your students to know and learn. And we're going to be kind of going through the website a little bit, in just a little bit, so you can find those things. And then the last part of Envirothon is an oral presentation. Some teams choose not to do this oral presentation the first year they compete because it's kind of an extra, but you cannot win the competition unless you do the oral presentation. So please try to give it a go if you want to. It gives your students a great chance to apply the knowledge that they're learning about the current issue to their community, and then gives them a chance to present and practice being on stage or presenting to a community panel, and it's just really good opportunity for them to learn. So, if that still doesn't make sense, we have a lot of veteran teachers here that could help kind of give you a better idea of what Envirothon looks like. And like I said, we have a lot of resources on the website. Here's some important dates to remember. So the competition will be Friday, May 3rd. Right here in this room is where we start. The students go out to the garden and they rotate through all those stations, come back here for lunch and oral presentations, and then we conclude the day with an awards ceremony. So that's the day where it all happens. Registration is going to open in January, and if your team does decide to do the oral presentation, you submit a video of that presentation ahead of time so that we can review it and judge those presentations. And then on the day of the competition, we only see the top 2 teams actually present it live to their peers and to a panel of judges. So that video submission date is 2 weeks prior to the competition at April 19th. And then if you win Oregon Envirothon, your team gets to move on to the NCF Envirothon, which is kind of an international competition that's being held this year in New York. So that's an exciting thing that's going to be happening at the end of July through the beginning of August. And if you haven't already checked what the current issue theme is this year, it's renewable energy for a sustainable future. And it's picked by, by the state that's hosting the international competition. So New York State picked that theme, and we're going to go with it and apply it to Oregon. All right. So you may have noticed that you don't have a nice fancy binder this year, for those of you who are returning, with all the information. We just did some photocopies, but I have everything up on our website. We're hoping that we can start using our website as the main resource to find this information, so as we update it, it'll be fresh and current throughout the year. So if you've never been to Oregon Envirothon, this is what it looks like. Just type in the Google Oregon Envirothon. And where you find the study materials is either under the competition tab or the resources tab. Right now we're looking at the current issue, so we'd go to the competition tab and you click on that, and then it pulls up a current issue page. Has a little bit of information along with past tests, and then also the tab where it says 2024's current issue, which is the renewable energy for a sustainable future. And this will pull up the PDF because, as you notice on the paper version that I gave you, there are a lot of links to help you study for this current issue. And so if it's online, then you can just click those links and you don't have to spend hours typing them in. So that will be your friend. It will really help you study for our current issue along with attending this training today. Same with the oral, so here's an idea of it. It pulls it up, the PDF. And same with the oral presentation. That's also under the competition tab. Click on that, opens up to the oral presentation page where you will see the newest scenario, 2024, since this competition is happening in the spring. And then it also has the judging rubric, so what the judges are looking for in the oral presentation. So that will help your students figure out exactly what they want to say, because they only have 10 minutes to present this scenario, so it can be a lot. Any questions about that so far? Oh, okay. Those are the PDFs. So this is the resource tab where you can find all the other study materials. So if you're looking for what we expect your students to know in each of those areas, they are on there. Pick those. And then the last one I wanted to point out is when you go to register for Envirothon, we're going to have the registration tab under competition. And then not only do we have a register now button, but we'll have the entire Envirothon manual. So if you really like that binder version, you can go there and it should have everything and you can just print it out and put it in your own binder. And it will lead you to a Google Drive that will also have the videos from today's topics and speakers on there so you can re-watch those. If you don't want to access the videos that way, you can also access it by going to the YouTube link up at the top corner. Everybody see the little red circle up there? That's where we hold the videos from today's presentations. So it will have your current issue and the oral presentation topics and the videos that you can show your students. Any questions? Pretty straightforward? All right. Okay, now on to the fun stuff. We are here today to learn more about renewable energy and a sustainable future. And so, as I mentioned earlier, the National Envirothon puts out the study guide, and they have chosen the 5 key topics. And so you're going to kind of be learning about these today, from everything from learning about the infrastructure of energy and renewable energy, and then you're also going to take a look at natural resources and the global perspective of renewable energy, and then apply it locally to your community here in Oregon, and learn how Oregon is transitioning from fossil fuels to more reliable, renewable energy. All right. Now, before we get started with the presentations, I just wanted to mention that I want you to start thinking about the oral presentation, because as the speakers come up and present to you, you might want to have some questions ready about the oral presentation so you can help guide your students. So a little bit of background about our oral presentation is that we are looking, like I said before, how we are trying to transition to clean energy. So clean energy means that we're trying to remove fossil fuel-based systems and make them into renewable energy sources. Renewable energy sources can consist of hydro, wind, solar, and many other ones like geothermal and biomass and other ones. In Oregon, the Renewable Portfolio Standard requires that 50% of electricity used by Oregonians comes from renewable resource. So this is that transition that we're trying to make here in Oregon. So what we're asking your students to do is to assess the energy use in your town or community and recommend how to significantly increase renewable energy use over the next 5 years. So that's their specific goal. So as you're listening to the speakers today, think about how your students are going to assess the energy use in your community and how they're going to increase the use of renewables. I left this page up here, which is just comes right from the oral presentation paper you have in front of you, but these are our presentations should include each of these elements. So first off, you want to define your community. Then you want to give a good idea of the energy use now. You're going to have your group recommend a plan in increasing the renewable energy use in your town or community. And then steps for carrying out your plan and how your plan will benefit the community and beyond. And then any challenges that the plan would pose to the community and how would you overcome those challenges. So that's kind of what we're looking for. All right, you guys excited about learning about renewable energy today? All right.